Yo! Welcome to this reaction from one of my streams. I'm watching oompaville's second video about Epstein. Go check out the first one if you haven't yet. Like and subscribe for more, and don't forget to go over to his channel and check that out too. Dude's spitting some truth over there.
Scandal in the history of the American government unfold right in front of our eyes live on corporate media. It is the biggest, and it isn't even close. Yet somehow, the ones you've heard of before this one, like Watergate, had 41 convictions. How about Iran-Contra? 11 people convicted. Now, you've probably heard of these scandals, but
Okay, wait, actually, let's start again.
we're currently watching the largest scandal in the history of the American government unfold right in front of our eyes live on corporate media. It is the biggest, and it isn't even close. Yet somehow, the ones you've heard of before this one, like Watergate, had 41 convictions. How about Iran-Contra? 11 people convicted. Now, you've probably heard of these scandals, but you might not even know what they were actually about. In my
I'm sure I watched something about it, but I think I forgot pretty much everything.
non-professional
Watergate.
opinion, the Epstein scandal is much bigger than both of those even combined. It implicates far more people. There are hundreds and hundreds of children trafficked. Some of it's exposed on video. And after all of that, only one person is in prison. Only one person has actually had to
Actually, two. And one is dead.
answer while alive for this cabal, essentially. This ring of satanic pedophiles that apparently implicates everybody, or every one of the 8,500 rich and powerful people who run the world. It pretty much is just them, it seems like. And we have
Where does this number come from? 85.
multiple people actively lying about it, running defense on camera. Cash Patel, Pam Bondi, one of the most powerful law enforcement positions in the entire government of the United States.
She was so embarrassed when they had this process with her, man. She was simply raging on air.
States of America is sitting in a congressional hearing being asked about child sex trafficking survivors and responding with the quote,
The Dow right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing.
The Dow.
You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin.
Money.
That's big news. Hey, guess what? It's under 50,000 now. So I don't know what that even means. I don't even have stocks. I don't know how to get them. I don't even know where the f you buy them at. By the way, in case you forgot, these are the exact same people who spent years telling you that they were going to expose all of this and drain the swamp, and they built their campaigns on it, and they rode that.
Damn. Who is this rocker in the back there?
Outrage all the way into office, all the way into the most powerful positions in the country by completely just taking advantage of you. And then they got that power, said that there were files, said that there were no files, and now they're using the power to bury the entire thing. It's unbelievable, genuinely. In the Watergate scandal, the equivalent of Pam Bondi, the attorney general, actually went to prison for lying to protect the president. The crime he covered up was burglary. All right? Burglary. Burglary. What is happening now involves the trafficking of children on a global scale. And somehow nobody, aside
Who went to jail for burglary?
from 3 people, 2 of which have died mysteriously, has gone to jail. One of which is in some, I don't know, a Walmart in Texas or something, playing with puppies, I think. That's Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, there's obviously been no shortage of coverage of the Epstein scandal over the last few months. It's all that a lot of people are talking about. But there is an angle, I think, that's very interesting and helps hammer in just how disgusting and corrupt this entire thing is. And that is the fact that the people who are covering all this up are the people who ran on this issue. Cash Patel.
Whoa. I don't know what to tell you about this guy. The only thing I can tell you is he's a scammer.
December 2023, before he became director of the FBI. He's on a podcast because that's what people do.
He was on every podcast. He was at least on 2 Joe Rogan podcasts too.
They go on podcasts before they become the director
Before election.
of the FBI. And he's asked why the Epstein files haven't been released yet. And he says, because of who's on that list. Or whatever the he said.
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
He then said, put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are.
Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are.
And then he said, on day 1, roll out the black book. Day 1. That was the promise. Not eventually, not when they eventually get around to it, guys. Day 1. Remember, he said this a while ago, and then he actually got into power and did none of it. Did literally none of it. Instead, he just lied about it. He said that they'd give us every single thing that they have and can give us. He didn't give any of it. All right, guys. Instead, they just said that there was nothing. And then somehow a few months later, they released 3.5 million things, and now they're not going to release the other 2.5 million.
Wait, what you mean? I thought they do it.
Things, or however many there are. Now, how about Dan Bongino? Before he got a role at the FBI and Secret Service, he was a podcaster with millions of listeners, and I think he actually failed miserably at those first 2 things, and now he's a podcaster, again, doing kung fu moves. It's really embarrassing. He spent years hammering the issue. In May 2023, he called it, quote, one of the biggest political scandals of our time. He was totally right and insanely based. In September of 2024, he said the Epstein client list is a huge deal. He told his audience that it was going to rock the Democratic Party and that the truth was being hidden from the American people. Obviously, because of the Biden administration, because they were in power. That's why they weren't releasing the list. All right, guys. And he asked the question his audience was already asking. What are they hiding? What the hell are they hiding, guys? Perfectly valid question that everybody still wants to know the answer to, because it's clearly still being hidden. His audience trusted him on that, and they believed that he was going to follow through because he's, saying.
What you mean? So a podcaster became a legit politician in America? It just went from podcasting to politics?
Things that he believes are true, and he's actually, making it to larger points of power in the American government. He's being appointed to do stuff. But alas, no. Then there's Pam Bondi, the current Attorney General.
I don't even know where she's coming from. She was just there.
Of the United States of America. I'm going to say current, because I think that's going to be a very important word really soon. If you don't know what an attorney general is, if the FBI director is the person who runs the investigation, the attorney general is the person who decides what happens with the investigation.
So she's actually
This is the job that matters most when it actually comes to accountability. The Attorney General for the federal government and also individually for the states is a very important and strong position that generally delivers justice on a very grand scale beyond what any other lawyer or point of law enforcement or point of law or whatever anybody else in the executive branch of government can actually do. This time last year, she went on Fox News and said, "It's sitting on my desk right now to review." Do you guys remember that?
Last year.
That when they were about to release the Epstein files a year
Thanks
ago.
For the
a few weeks later, she doubled
teacher.
down. In March 2025, she said,
Teacher.
everything's going to come out to the public. She then accused the Biden administration of sitting on these documents. The implication is that now that the Biden administration is out, it is going to usher in a new guard of people who actually care about accountability.
Yeah, it was just, they did it. So they get the other side gets the votes.
And standing up for survivors of this
both on the
massive,
same boat.
evil ring of bad people. That's why they got elected. It's like drain the swamp, right? Because Hillary and Bill are evil and shit.
And those two will be in front of Congress too very soon, no?
I thought that's what the whole thing was. And the American government is run by a satanic cabal of pedophiles. I thought that's what the whole thing was, man. I heard about that for years. Come on now, dude. What about QAnon? What happened to QAnon?
What the fuck is QAnon?
In the files? Yeah. By the way, I'm sorry I'm continuing to talk about this, but I just can't stop, and I don't think I want to stop. It's coming apart at the seams, it feels like. The American government is coming apart at the seams. But anyways, the current administration is the administration that signed the Epstein Files Transparency Act into law in November of 2025.
House of Justiciary.
That act was written by Rokana and Thomas Massey. Genuine and actual people standing up for what is right in basically modern day folk heroes at this point. That's who these two people are. When Trump was asked on Fox News back in June 2024 if he would release the Epstein files,
well,
he said,
2024 is a while ago, man.
I guess I would. But then he also said all this shit.
I guess I would.
So it's like a Democratic hoax and it's not real and it's apparently they lied.
Yeah, that was the latest thing he said
About it and stuff. And if it's a Democratic hoax, you'd think that Biden, it doesn't seem like there's any consistency and any clarity. It's really bad though. I released an Antarctica video last week. I was like, man, this seems dumb. I feel like I gotta just keep talking about this. I can't shut up about it. How are you supposed to just let this just be? You know, because we have the FBI.
Yeah, the Antarctica video, that was something I think I watched. I think the Y-Files did a video about the same topic, so I skipped it.
FBI director, the Attorney General, and the President of the United States, and a senior FBI official who spent years on podcasts telling millions that this was the scandal of the century, now just totally flipping. By the way, these aren't just random commentators. This isn't just like me not talking about it anymore or some other YouTube channel or whatever not talking about it anymore. These are the 4 people with the actual power to do something about it. Like genuinely. They promised everything. They got elected, confirmed, took office, and then nothing. What happened next is the entire point of this video, guys. But before we get there, we need to talk about what it
Okay, he's summing it up.
Actually means when people say that this is the biggest scandal in the history of the United States of America. All right? Because there's been plenty of scandals. There's been plenty of crazy shit that's happened. There's been plenty of cover-ups. There's been all sorts of wild and crazy stuff. This is the worst one by far. We've seen ones before this that end careers and put people in prison. For example, Watergate, another American scandal. This will help put everything.
Okay, wait. Before we continue, we gotta check out what was Watergate again. Oh, German? No one will understand German? Richard Nixon. Planting listening devices in headquarters. Gemstone. Okay. Illegal X. Okay, it was some election fraud with the CIA and the FBI, whatever. And he got busted by secret tapes. Okay.
Into perspective.
Oh, wait.
June 17th, 1972, 5 men are arrested inside the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee at the Watergate office complex in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Right there on a map. They're there to plant listening devices and photograph documents. And one of the 5 is a guy named James McCord. He works as the security coordinator for the committee to re-elect the president, Nixon. Nixon's re-elect
me.
Election campaign. This was the president's own campaign breaking into the opposition's headquarters to take photographs and plant listening devices. Now, the thing is, Nixon didn't even need to do this. He was already winning. He was ahead in every single poll, and he would go on to win.
Oh, what the fuck?
And in fact, one of the biggest landslides in American history. The White House press secretary called it a, quote, third-rate burglary attempt and tried to make it sound like nothing. And for a little while, it almost worked. But 41 people were convicted, okay? So, obviously it didn't blow
Wait a minute. So it just went on?
Over quite as easily. Within days of the arrest, Nixon and his top advisors started the cover-up. They used the CIA, obviously, to lean on the FBI to limit the investigation. They paid hush money to the burglars, hundreds of thousands of dollars to keep them quiet and prevent them from talking. A fellow by the name of John Dean, the White House counsel, this guy right here, coordinated the whole thing from inside the West
The big brain, man.
Wing. The strategy? Pretty simple. Guys, you know, deny everything. Stonewall, gaslight, lie, hope it goes away. The Alan Dershowitz method. You guys know that guy? He lies a lot.
What? Alan Dershowitz. Ah, he. Yeah.
He's like, it's his whole thing, I think. He's
After
a lawyer.
the
I think
stream,
that's
man.
what lawyers do. Two libtard
have kick
reporters at the
open right
Washington
now.
Post, Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, kept digging. Their source was later revealed to be the FBI's own Associate Director, Mark Felt, and he kept pointing them towards the truth. The Senate launched televised hearings in 1973, and the whole country was watching. By the way, this is like the era of classic government overreach. You have the CIA doing a lot of really evil things post-World War II.
But back then, there was everything easier. They could hide stuff. Nowadays, it's way harder.
Up until about 1975, all right? And then less evil things for about 3
Nowadays, you need a lot of money.
years. And then just as evil things from then until now, but they're able to hide it a little bit better. So the televised hearings came in 1973, and from them came the detail that broke everything open, as they say. A White House aide named Alexander Butterfield testified that Nixon had been secretly recording every conversation in the Oval Office.
Ooh.
Everything
He snitched.
was on tape. You've probably heard of the Watergate tapes. All right, that's where that comes from.
Well, there was no doubt in my mind that they were installed to record things for posterity, for the Nixon Library. The president was very conscious of that kind of thing. We had quite an elaborate setup at the White House for the collection
What is this? Why are the other people just sitting there and writing down whatever?
and preservation
Are
of
those
documents
like journalists?
and of things which transpired in the way of business of state.
Nixon fought hard to keep those tapes, like he fought in Black Ops 1 alongside his bro, JFK, and Fidel Castro and McNamara. That's real documented history right there, too, okay? Then all of a sudden, a special prosecutor named Archibald Cox demanded
I think that was a lie.
the recordings.
We will initiate such legal measures to secure the 8 tapes and certain other evidence as soon as proper papers can be prepared.
Nixon ordered his Attorney General, Elliot Richardson, to fire Cox. Why? I just pretty much explained why. Because he's
Because his name was Cock.
for justice, and, you know. Richardson refused and resigned. Then Nixon went to the Deputy Attorney General, William Ruckelshaus, and Ruckelshaus refused and was also fired. It took the Solicitor General, Robert Bork, to finally carry out the order. That's right, guys, Robert Bork. They called it the Saturday Night Massacre. 3 top Justice Department officials gone in a single night because the president wanted to kill an investigation into his own administration. Now, the intent to kill the investigation fell flat. Didn't work. The Supreme Court ruled unanimously that
So they got busted. They wanted to hide it.
Nixon had to turn over the tapes. When the country finally heard what was on those recordings, it was f***ing over, guys. The tapes proved that Nixon personally ordered the cover-up. He told his staff to use the CIA to shut down the FBI's investigation. It's not speculation. That's Nixon's voice on tape doing that.
They'll call them in and say, we've gotten the signal across the river to
Shush.
put the hold on this. And that'll fit rather well because the FBI agents who are working the case at this point feel that's what it is the CIA. You call me. Good deal. Play it, tell them. That's the way it is.
They got the whole recording?
They play it. That's the way we're going to play it. Okay.
41 people got convicted. 41 people, and Nixon resigned on August 9th, 1974. He was pardoned by Gerald Ford and never spent a single day in prison. Oh, but guess who did?
Easy. Had nothing to do with it.
The Attorney General did. John Mitchell, the highest ranking law enforcement officer in all the land, the United States of America. Nixon's personal butt buddy. Personal friend,
always
personal political advisor, or I guess political advisor, not personal political advisor. The man who was supposed to uphold the law for the entire country. He was convicted on January 1st, 1975 of
even there he has his smoking thing in the mouth.
Of conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and perjury, and sentenced to prison to serve 19 months. He was the first attorney general in the history of the United States to serve a prison sentence, and I sure hope not the last. Now, we have to understand what Mitchell actually went to prison for. He didn't go to prison for ordering the break-in. He didn't go to prison for doing the evil, bad stuff. He went to prison for lying about it and for covering it up and for obstructing the investigation and talking about how the Dow's over 50,000 points. Actually, that wasn't him. He went to prison for...
Wait, I missed the part now. Still about Mitchell.
And talking about how the Dow's over 50,000 points. Actually, that wasn't him. He went to prison for lying under oath. The break-in, the actual crime, was like a burglary and really wasn't that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. The cover-up was the actual actionable crime. How epic is that? Now, this is obviously a different time. Things were a lot simpler in the mid-70s, right? Hair was longer. People were, I don't know if they were dumber or apparently they had more testosterone. Apparently that is absolutely true. But the lesson that America took from Watergate was that the system does work. Even the highest office in all the land, they can lose their job. Sure, they might not go to prison, and sure, they might get pardoned by the next guy who comes in. Maybe they might get a little, a handy or whatever. I don't know exactly how it works, but those people are out, kind of. The system works. There are checks and there are balances at some point. The press investigated
final legal actions. I charged with crimes, yeah. Mitchell remains the highest ranking US government official to be imprisoned. For Hardball is getting close to Watergate. Direct year in Philadelphia.
Congress held hearings, and the courts enforced the law, and the attorney.
And how did Nixon get out of there? Oh, holy fuck. Blah, blah, blah. I am loud and obnoxious. I like music that rhymes. I am fraction of the population, but I commit half of the crimes. And that should be a person.
Attorney General went to prison.
I know, man.
Sure, it probably should have been the guy who was behind all of it, President Nixon, but it was people did 41 convictions. People did, people were put away. So we've got that. How about 12 years?
Like, like in Lord of the Rings, when Gollum and Bilbo did the riddle game, I would have lost for sure, man. No chance.
Later, America would learn a very different lesson. Ever heard of Iran-Contra? A very, very convoluted and complicated scandal. One time at a vet clinic, I saw Oliver North. That's a little bit of a fun fact, okay? Doesn't really have anything to do with this video. I just thought it'd be funny to say he's involved in this. 1985. The Cold War is still going. Ronald Reagan is president, and he's focused on one thing: stopping the dirty Reds everywhere that he can. All right,
Yeah, because he had shit on his
in Central America,
Reagan, right?
not anywhere near Russia. A group called the Sandinistas have taken power in Nicaragua. Reagan sees...
Blah, blah, blah. I want to know. What was the riddle? Tell me about it.
them as a communist threat and wants to fund the rebel forces fighting against them.
Give me the answer.
a group called the Contras. But there's one problem. You can't just fund a warring group of rebels without asking Congress. Congress said no. They passed a law called the
Thanks, man. Thanks for the sub too. Well, your riddle. The riddle, man. I didn't understand it. Was it a person or is there an answer to the riddle me this? Okay, wait, I let the video run in case you answer. Then I stop again.
Amendment that explicitly prohibited the United States from funding the Contras. Not really a suggestion or an idea or a concept or a hypothetical or a bit of hyperbole from Congress. It's federal law. Meanwhile, and this is related, halfway around the world, American hostages are being held.
Yeah, there I watched some documentaries on Arte. But to tell you the details, man, I don't have this huge brain capacity, you know?
Held in Lebanon by Hezbollah, which has ties at the time to Iran. And Iran is...
But I think at the end, they just put people like on the top and gave some criminals the charge, and they just took all the money for themselves and the population for their reconstruction of the cities. Just like they got left alone. Okay, man, okay. Have fun.
is under a
Thanks for checking. Bye.
strict U.S. arms embargo. So with that in mind, logically, this is what the senior officials in the Reagan administration decided to do. They sold weapons to Iran, violating the arms embargo, and took the profits from those sales and funneled them to the Contras, violating the Boland Amendment. Two illegal operations stitched together, arms
Thanks,
to a
bro.
hostile nation and the profit from those arms to a hostile nations to rebels that Congress had cut off, and then they lied to Congress about all of it. Here's where the vet clinic comes in. The operation was run through the National Security Council, primarily by a Marine Lieutenant Colonel named Oliver North. North was the
Oliver North? I'm sure he got something to do with Alaska too.
operational architect of this shebang, we should call it. His boss, National Security Advisor John Poindexter, approved it, and CIA Director William Casey was also deeply involved. But he died of a brain tumor in 1987 before he could ever
Okay, I didn't laugh. Rest in peace.
testify. In November of 1986, a Lebanese magazine broke the story about the arms sales to Iran. And the Attorney General investigated and discovered the Contra diversion. Reagan went on national television and claimed he didn't know about the money going to the Contras. Oliver North was fired, and old Poindexter retired. I didn't even know that was a last name. That's a crazy last name. Isn't that like a something mean you call nerd?
I even watched the series on Netflix, Dexter, a while ago. Like I watched, I think, 3 seasons. After they nearly caught him. And yeah, I don't want to be a spoiler to people who want to watch Dexter. It is for sure watchable. The first seasons. Dexter.
Nerds? Poindexter? Poindexter? Is that why they say that? I don't even know. Who am I asking? Before anyone could get their hands on the evidence, Oliver North and his secretary Fawn Hall spent hours feeding documents into a shredder like that scene from SpongeBob. Congressional hearings followed in 1987. They were televised nationally. And when Oliver North showed up, he did something that no one expected. He wore his Marine Corps uniform, sat in front of Congress, and turned his testimony into a
Exactly, you didn't hear Ski, but he said Dexter Morgan. He liked it too.
beautiful performance. He was defiant, unapologetic, and a significant portion of the country rallied behind him. The narrative at the time shifted. Instead of, what did the government do wrong? It became, Oliver North loves his country. That's why he's illegally selling arms to Iran and using the profits of the arms sales to fund a rebel group in South America because he hates the commie Reds. In the end, 11 people were convicted, and an independent counsel named Lawrence Walsh spent 7 years investigating the Iran-Contra. 7 years of his life. He secured 11 convictions, and then he watched pretty much all of them disappear.
Imagine your life work. Well, at least he got them.
Oliver North was convicted on 3 counts: aiding obstruction, destroying documents, and accepting an illegal gratuity. All 3 of the convictions geared towards North were vacated.
You need people like that. Otherwise, the evil will just continue working in the dark.
On appeal because his immunized congressional testimony may have influenced the witnesses against him. Some classic legal speak. The same immunity Congress gave him to testify on national television became the legal basis for throwing out the convictions. Pretty interesting way to do it. All right, guys? Very deep story. If you want to learn more about Iran-Contra, Sean Munger,
guys.
historian on YouTube, has a 2.5-hour video on it that is substantially better than I could ever try to explain. So if you want to check that out, you should. You should.
If you want details, Sean Munger.
Learn about that. It's very important. Old Poindexter got convicted on 5 counts. All 5 reversed on appeal.
Poindexter.
Same issue. And Robert McFarlane, the former national security advisor, pled guilty to 4 misdemeanors, and he was pardoned. Caspar Weinberger, the Secretary of Defense, was indicted on 5
Weinberger, Weinstein, always the wines, man.
counts of lying to Congress. He never actually went to trial because on Christmas Eve 1992, George H.W. Bush, who was himself potentially implicated in the scandal, pardoned Weinberger and 5 other Iran-Contra figures on his way out of office. So, pretty epic. Did it on Christmas Eve. Nobody was watching on Christmas Eve. There was no internet back then. It was 2 years before the World Wide Web. This is nothing new. It's just way harder for them to do, and they're trying really hard to cover this all up. I'm surprised we haven't invaded Greenland yet, or stolen another head of state in South.
Yeah, no way that will happen with Greenland. That's for sure just to how do you say it? To wait, it will come. Let's just say it like that. To cover up for other stuff.
America or whatever. Seems like they've actually been kind of
that's going
talking
on.
about it. The Dow's at 50,000.
Like Epstein,
Did you know the Dow's at 50,000?
Why,
yes, I did.
Like,
I have so many stock. Now, back to poor Lawrence Walsh, the man who spent 7 years building those cases. He said it clearly. The Iran-Contra cover-up...
I actually can't find the word right now. To change focus, like from the Epstein files to something else. I'm sure you understand what I want to say.
Has now been completed. Of all 11 people convicted, exactly 1 person served significant prison time. They were convicted, at least. It was a man named Thomas Kleins, who did 16 months for tax offenses connected to the operation. Taxes. Al Capone style.
Not even 1 million.
11 convictions.
Small fish.
1 person behind bars. So it's like Watergate was a little bit better, and then we've gotten better and better at preventing the checks and balances from being checks and balances throughout time. And now we've got, we've got problems in our government right now, guys. Big problems. And it's
everything is all right.
It's really hard for me to make videos about cryptids in Appalachia and Antarctica. Right?
For the last election of Trump, there were way more memes. Now everything is so serious. Understandable, but just saying.
With all this stuff going on. So you're going to have to accept my apology for talking about more scandals. So we've got to think about what happened between.
I think the memes might come after every bad stuff ends, you know. The happy time after the bad.
Between these two scandals. Watergate. A burglary cover-up. 41 people convicted. The attorney general went to prison. The president resigned. Nobody's above the law. Iran-Contra. The government sold weapons to a hostile nation, illegally funded a rebel army, lied to Congress, shredded the evidence, 11 people convicted. Almost every conviction is reversed or pardoned. The president said he didn't know, and the independent counsel said the cover-up succeeded. You can see the trend. The accountability went from 41 to 11. And most of the 11 walked free. Watergate was a good example of the system working at a pretty high level. And the Iran-Contra affair taught everybody that it doesn't really, there's loopholes. There's lots and lots and lots and lots of loopholes, and you can just pardon people. Which, of course, they did that with Watergate as well. Gerald Ford pardoned Richard Nixon, but at least some people went to jail.
At least some.
The point is, you can just walk right through a loophole if you're rich and powerful. Now, fast forward. A congressman named Thomas Massey, a modern-day folk American hero, sat in a hearing on February...
Wait, that's the same dude? When he was young? He was the one asking the questions to Bondi, wasn't he?
Thomas Massey, a modern-day folk American hero, sat in a hearing on February 11, 2026, looked at the Epstein scandal and said, "This is bigger than Watergate. This goes over 4 administrations." He's completely right about that. Watergate happened under one president. Iran-Contra happened under one president. The Epstein scandal spans 4 administrations, 3 decades, and has hundreds of child victims, survivors, hundreds of survivors, victims that have come forward, and somehow there has been next to zero accountability. What in the So hopefully...
Imagine this.
I'm building a case here, all right? Not a legal case, but like a YouTube case. Painting a bit of a picture. Not a Bob Ross picture, but like a YouTube picture. Everything we've shown you so far in this video, we've shown you promises, we've shown you guarantees, and we've shown you that the system kind of almost works sometimes, and then it doesn't work. And then now it's really not working at all. And all of that came to a head in May of 2025. Because up until that point, they were talking about...
And when is it working fine?
Releasing the Epstein files. You got people being like, the Epstein files are on my desk. I swear to Jod. I swear to Ball. CNN reported that in May of 2025, Attorney General Pam Bondi sat down with President Trump in a private meeting and told him that his name appeared in the Epstein files. Deputy Attorney...
Wait, what? Thought that his name was... Oh, okay.
Meeting and told him that his name appeared in the Epstein files. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche was also in the room. Very trustworthy guy with epic quotes like this.
I don't know whether there are men out there that abuse these women. If we learn about information and evidence that allows us to prosecute them, you better believe we will. But I don't think that the public or you all are going to uncover men within the Epstein files that abuse women, unfortunately.
What? Whoa, whoa. He takes it to the extreme.
2 White House officials that later characterized this as a routine briefing. Yeah, about as routine as... Can't think of anything. So the Attorney General of the United States tells the president that his name is in the files of a convicted child sex trafficker.
I'm waking up, guys. I was a little bit under the water.
And the official line is that it's just routine. Hey, bud. Not my routine. May 8th, 2025. Kash Patel, the FBI director. Just routine. Hey, bud. Not my routine. May 8th, 2025. Kash Patel, the FBI director, sits in a Senate hearing and says, I quote, "I believe he hung himself in a cell."
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in it.
Look at him. What is he looking at?
A cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When you think you'll have it done, Cash?
I think in the near future, sir.
Like before I die?
This is the same man who said, roll out the black book on day one. He's now confirming the suicide narrative that he spent years questioning, dude. What the is happening? May 18th, Dan Bongino goes.
He got for sure a lot of money in his asshole. His name is Cash Patel, not for nothing.
On Fox News and says, I've seen the whole file. He killed himself. 10 days after Patel's reversal, the man who called this one of the biggest political scandals of our time has suddenly seen the whole file and decided that there's nothing for us, the American people, to see. May 29th, Dan Bongino, again on Fox and Friends, my favorite show, says there is no DNA, there is no audio, there are no fingerprints, there's no suspects, there's no accomplices, there's no tips, there's no nothing.
There's no nothing, man. There is only 3 million files, man.
But there is a lot of tips. There is a list of co-conspirators. For example, Leslie Wexner. What the that was just unredacted. People are so full. These people are so full of shit. No wonder Dan Bongino resigned. Honestly, no wonder.
Yo, I heard that Ribéry is in the files. And didn't hear saw it in a video or something, but I think Ski told me that Ribéry is in the files for something.
That guy resigned. Lay off the TRT, bro. Eat a I don't know, sandwich or something. Holy shit. You look like you're about to pop. Love the Kung Fu, by the way. Keep working on it. You'll eventually get
it. Crazy moves. Okay, Ski just confirmed it.
This is Karate Man.
This is Karate Man.
Less than a year, he went from it being one of the biggest political scandals of our time to there's just nothing, guys. No tips, not even, it doesn't even exist. Who's Jeffrey Epstein? He said. He didn't say that. That's a lie. Sorry, that's a joke. June 6th, Patel goes on.
He's joking?
On the Joe Rogan podcast and says, quote, we've reviewed all the information.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know how often he was there, but at least 2 times before election and 2 times after election.
And the American public is going to get as much as we can release. Sounds kind of reasonable when you read it or when you listen to it. Seems pretty reasonable, right? But wait, how about when Joe Rogan asks specifically about the Epstein videos? Patel says, quote, not of what you want. So, seems like his first answer shouldn't have been, you'll get everything. It should have been, you'll get what we decide to give you. Because I would like to maintain my career and life, in all honesty, because they have access to all of my devices and they've been screen recording everything I've ever done.
Yo, how does he know that?
In my entire life, he said.
Yo, he nearly got me too.
Should have said. This video is sponsored by ZocDoc. I used to put off booking doctor appointments way.
Oh, do I have to skip this or do I watch it? Okay, guys. His sponsoring, not my sponsoring.
July 7th, 2025, the DOJ releases an official memo. Nobody signs it. Pretty epic. The systematic review revealed no incriminating client list, and there is also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals. No client list, no blackmail, decades of court filings, victim testimony, and FBI investigations. The DOJ's official position is that none of this even exists. July 8th, Pam Bondi appears at a White House cabinet meeting and says, no, she didn't say that. She said, I did an interview on Fox and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said I was asked a question about the client list and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed. Meanwhile, the file, along with the JFK and MLK files, which still haven't fully been released for JFK, I'm not sure about the MLK file.
For the JFK file, that was... Okay, we saw new footage for sure. We saw new footage for sure, but for the rest...
She said, that's what I meant by that. Oh, thanks for the clarity, Pamela. Thanks for the clarity, Pamela. Let's get those eyes further apart. When she went on Fox News in February and told the American people that they would get the full Epstein files, which she did do that, what she actually meant was the files in general, not the client list, not the names, not the actual parts of accountability.
She didn't even mean the files at all, man. She meant the dope
People care about, and that these people have been campaigning on for years and years and years and years and years and years. I mean, as far as I can remember, literally pre-COVID. All right, guys, pre-COVID. I mean, he died right before.
When was COVID again?
Before COVID. It's almost like it was part of the plan. Roll the Trevor Moore clip. Thank you, Tara.
Okay, so Jeffrey Epstein.
Sure.
We all know Jeffrey Epstein.
Yep.
He had them design a novel coronavirus that was his kill switch.
He got a nice head. Shit happens, huh?
Basically, like, that was his trump card, which is like, I don't go to jail or I release this shit. Then when they killed him in like October or November, his kill switch went off, and that's when the disease got introduced into the world and like slowly started to spread in the last quarter of last year until it became what we do today.
Like Trevor, I don't believe in that, but I would love to spread it. On July 12th.
What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. He might be onto something there. Okay, guys.
Trump is asked about Epstein and refers to him as, quote, somebody that nobody cares about. Total bullshit. All right, guys, the cracks are starting to show. This is the president whose administration signed the Epstein Files Transparency Act just a few months later, calling the subject of that law something that nobody cares about. Meanwhile, everybody but one guy voted on it. Huh? July 16th, Trump posts on Truth Social, my favorite social
What the fuck is Truth Social, man? Who is using that?
media platform, calling his own supporters who still want the Epstein files released weaklings. The people who voted for him because they don't want the government to be run by a satanic
Only true believers.
pedophile cabal, which is most of them, I feel like. They're all weaklings, bro. What the are you kidding me, dude? Who the is this guy? All right? Who's this guy? Before May 2025, we have Roll Out the Black Book.
Hey,
Biggest
actually, what's going on with the aliens? We haven't heard from aliens a while ago. Are they not credible enough anymore?
scandal of all time. You did everything!
I want to see new UFOs.
After May 2025, he killed himself. There's nothing in the files. Nobody cares. Also, you're all weaklings. 3 people reversed their positions within weeks of the same briefing. I mean, can you not see what the this looks like? I mean, they all got organized. Clearly, they saw something in the files that looked really, oh, but wait, Mike Johnson said that he was an FBI informant. I believe Mike Johnson. If he's an FBI informant, release all the files. I would love Donald Trump to be the greatest folk American hero of all time to bring down the satanic pedophile cabal. I would love for that. Just somebody do it. This is probably not even an entertaining video whatsoever, which I don't really give a I just want it to be on record as much as possible and talked about as much as possible and signal boosted as much as possible.
Perfect. Then the reaction is exactly what he wants. To share it.
Because it really is.
Oompaville, guys. Go watch him. I just found him like 2 or 3 weeks ago when he released his first EPSTEIN video. Yeah, that's how I found his channel. Pretty nice.
It's real ugly, I feel like. This is a system that is built to take advantage of you. Take advantage of you and lie. And it's been fine for such a long time until now. Everybody has an ability to just talk on the internet. They can't do anything about it. They can't do anything about it. And they release all the files, and then people on Reddit.
Yeah, man, and the myth that YouTube is covering or censoring everything, that's not true, man. Look at my channel. I'm cursing so much, and I say pretty much everything what I want on the channel. And, like, nothing. Everything fine. Well, I'm just a small YouTuber.
Start stroking their neck beards and like connecting shit, and they're making more progress, and there's more transparency from just people than there has been from the government in who the knows how long. We cannot allow it to go on. And the best way to do that is to just be really consistent. How about the lies? Chapter 5. Let's start with Dan Bongino, my favorite political commentator. May 2023. He tells his audience this is one of the biggest political scandals of our time. And yes, he does look like he's about to explode while saying that.
And like,
Yo, is this dude real?
how did the media, like, how...
Then in 2025, he goes on Fox News saying that Epstein killed himself and there's nothing in the files. Really, Dan? Like, how do you sleep with yourself at night? I mean, how do you...
He might not.
how do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night, man? Are you being honest? Let's surely hope you're being honest. Maybe what they showed him, everything that he was shown, shows that I don't know, and he just like doesn't want to look any deeper or whatever. I don't know. How can everyone not agree though? Danny did not just change his mind from behind a podcast microphone. He actually went inside, got the job, got a role at the Secret Service directly tied to the FBI's operations, and on his second day on the job, forwarded internal emails about how to handle the Epstein file redactions. We know this because journalist Jason Leopold obtained the emails through a FOIA request. Day 2, he wasn't even settled into his office yet, and he was already involved in deciding what the public would and wouldn't see. How about just show the public everything, bro? He didn't last long after that, resigned, and then went back to podcasting. And when he showed up in front of his audience of people who have platformed him and given him a ton of money and trusted him for years, people who believed him when he said that this was the scandal of a generation, they had a new name for him. They called him pedo protector. That's his own audience was calling him a pedo protector. Isn't that funny? Isn't that crazy, dude? Imagine being that guy. You're like,
Quote got busted.
oh, I'm an internet guy. I'm the bastion of truth. Oh, sure, I'm bald. Sure, I'm on TRT. Go in, get in there, and then he tweets this super ominous tweet about the things that I've seen are crazy. And then he gets out, and then he's a pedo protector.
Dum dum.
I mean, what? At least Dan Bongino left. Kash Patel, world famous gym teacher, is still in his chair. September 2025, Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, sits in front of a Senate committee and makes one of the most provably false statements that has ever been seen from a government official. There is no credible information, none, that Epstein trafficked to other individuals. None.
And he's still there, man.
All right. Okay. That is the FBI director telling Congress that there is zero credible evidence that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked children to other people. Now, his statement is provably false. The FBI's own documents show it. What? Unless I'm just, maybe I can't read, maybe I speak a different version of English, maybe I'm speaking the King's English. Their own investigative files from 2019 list 10 co-conspirators in Epstein's trafficking operation. 10 people at the FBI itself identified as co-conspirators in a child sex trafficking ring. One of them is Leslie Wexner, who
Leslie Wexner.
we've been known wouldn't have, and they just now unredacted it after Thomas Massey said they were caught red-handed. The billionaire founder of Victoria's Secret and L Brands, the dude who gave douchebag Epstein all of his money.
It's good that they censor all the fucks, so only mine are in the stream. Awesome.
And just allowed him to siphon money. Co-conspirator, for sure. Living in a huge mansion. Immune, protected. What? Thomas Massey, among other members of Congress, went into the DOJ reading room and reviewed the actual FBI files and came out with receipts to prove this, all right? There's actually been unredacted versions of these files now seen. Thomas confirmed that the FBI's own documents label Wexner as a co-conspirator in a child sex trafficking ring. We have the document here. Leslie Wexner.
Subject co-conspirators. Does not need to head out. We made contact with blah blah last night in New York. Contact was made with blah 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 blah. Attempts were made to blah blah blah, and Brunel blah 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 is confirmed to live. Whoa. Who is blah blah blah?
What is this for? not financial shit. This is not an outside allegation or some kind of conspiracy theory. This is the FBI's own paperwork produced by the FBI's own investigators sitting in the FBI's own files that they redacted, showing a co-conspirator. And the king of the FBI said there are none.
Yo, stop. He will get
He
me.
read them and lied about them under oath. I actually have a theory about this. I have a
will
theory.
never get
And
my eyes
in my
back.
mind, it makes a lot of sense. But if I'm a idiot, if I'm, room temperature IQ, which not far off, to be real with you guys, not far off. If I'm room temperature IQ and I'm, the sort of a...
Do you know that, guys? If you do it too often, then your eyes will just stop someday. They will stay in this position. Don't abuse it.
part of
Don't play with it.
a grassroots movement, like Cash Patel. All right, guys, a grassroots movement about protecting the innocent and, getting the satanic pedophile cabal out of DC, which is what these people, Pizzagate, these are the proselytizers
Pizzagate is a good name for this one.
of this. The entire grassroots movement that these people co-opted and used to get into power, they were galvanized off the idea of protecting children, about stopping this stuff. Say I'm an idiot, all right? And I go in and I become the leader of the FBI. I become the director of the FBI. And I say, I don't actually look at the files myself.
True, man. They were the child saviors. Straight from Christ.
I don't do anything myself. I say, hey,
Now they're straight from the
give me a list of
pedophiles.
co-conspirators. And then everybody around me says there aren't any. And I say, I guess there's not. And then I go in front of Congress and I say, there are none at all. And then they say, well, when we have this evidence of the people that I know said that there weren't any. That's my theory. Does that make sense? Bro went in there and was just like, hey, any co-conspirators? No? Okay. He's not a journalist. So, kind of makes sense, I guess. He just went in there and was like, hey, who's pedophiles? No? Satanic pedophilic cabal? No?
Nothing?
None? Okay. All right. I'll make sure that I tell everybody and go to jail for lying under oath. February 11th, 2026, Attorney General Pam Bondi appears before the House Judiciary Committee.
You showed it. I find it.
How many
have
you indicted?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer the question.
No, you're going to
I want to answer
answer the question the way I asked it.
Chairman
How many have you
Jordan, I'm not
indicted?
going to get in the gutter with these
Bro, she doesn't give him any time to speak.
people.
How many
But
have
I'm
you-
going to answer the question.
How many have you indicted?
Again, the time belongs to
Reclaiming my time.
the time
I
belongs.
think it's very
Reclaiming
interesting.
my time.
I think it's very
Reclaiming my time.
interesting.
You can
When
reclaim
he
your
talks
time,
about they
reclaiming my time,
indicted,
Mr.
the
Chairman.
president said they
Close the
indicted
clock.
him.
That's for sure a strategy. So she just rants and rants and rants so that there's no time to actually answer the real questions.
Mr. Chairman, please stop the clock and stop the clock.
And from the beginning, it's clear she didn't come to answer any questions. She's filibuster maxing, all right, guys? She's frame mugging on these idiots who want transparency. Transparency maxing? That is cringe.
You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch.
Reclaiming-
Not on our time. No way.
Reclaiming-
And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I
anything,
did tell you because we
washed
saw
up
what you
You don't tell me.
did in the
loser
Senate.
lawyer.
That will become a Simpson episode or whatever episode for sure, man. They will make fun of this 100%.
Not even
This is like diamond material to make parodies.
a lawyer.
Committee will be in order.
Congressman asked about the Epstein files, about accountability for sex trafficking, and about what the Department of Justice is going to do about it. And Pam Bondi responded with the most evil thing you can ever possibly say. That is the Dow is over $50,000 right now. Like, who the cares, dude? You rotted,
Dow.
just succubus. What in the dude? Moloch's not watching right now. Baal's not watching. Christ is. Have you read the Bible? Have you ever read the Bible? Like, all these people, they swear on it.
Bro, E.T. is watching, man. E.T. is always there, man.
They swear on it, dude. And I can't see this being the side
in French is E.T. est toujours là.
The side of good. The side of good. I just can't see it. Whatever good means. I feel like it means you don't like child sex trafficking pedophiles. I feel like that's kind of the side that I'm on, is that I think that shit's bad, and everybody involved in it, even loosely, should be harangued to the end of time and have
harangued, like in the good old days,
their rights and privileges
it's actually not
removed.
that of a bad idea.
Simple, dude. That's why I don't make laws, though. All right, and that's why I don't have a lot of power. I just have a cool, bright sign behind me, and I talk on the internet.
The Dow has shattered 50,000 for the first time. This is crazy.
Wow, this is crazy, man.
They
this is crazy, man.
said it couldn't be done in 4 years, yet
We did it.
President Trump has done it in 1
He did it.
year.
In only 1 year, guys.
National median rents have fallen to a 4-year.
Horribly, sitting directly behind Bondi
Waking ball.
are Epstein survivors, women who were trafficked, and they're right there in the room.
Yeah, they forgot to cover the names of the victims. Like, how dumb are they? And they got busted because they know they were reviewed all the papers because they covered or censored other stuff in the same files, like, or on the same papers. That just shows they didn't give a fuck.
Jayapal asks Bondi to turn around and face them.
But the Dow is up, guys.
And apologize. Bondi says, I'm not going to get in the gutter for her theatrics.
Will you turn to them now and apologize for what your Department of Justice has put them through with the absolutely unacceptable release of the Epstein files and their information? I am reclaiming my time.
Her voice is...
And when I will reclaim my time, it is
Mr. Chairman, the gentlelady has
I'm
reclaimed her
not going
time.
to get in the gutter for her theatrics.
Yo.
Time belongs to the gentlelady. The gentlelady has 17 seconds.
Thank you.
Then comes Ted Lieu, a congressman and former prosecutor. He looks at Bondi and says, I believe you just lied under oath. Bondi's response is, don't you ever accuse me of a crime. She vitriolically, she screams with vitriol.
I want to see that now.
I'm going to put up another
Mr. Leo
document from a witness who called the FBI's National Threat Operations Center because I believe you just lied under oath. There is
what? Da 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 da. And then comes the glasses on his head. It's a motherfucking G. Mr. Leo!
Don't you ever accuse me of a crime.
I believe you just lied under oath, and this is on videotape. You said there's no evidence
Tell
of
him,
crime.
man.
I'm showing you. Here is a witness statement who called into the FBI's Threat Operations Center.
Yeah, man.
He drove
What's up, sup?
Donald Trump around in a limo. He overheard what Donald Trump said to Jeffrey on his cell phone. He was so angry, he was
Oh, yo, sub, I don't know if you're old enough to watch this.
going to stop a limo and hurt Donald Trump.
Then she turns on her own party, guys. I thought that we was tribes. I thought we was in the same tribe, y'all. Thomas Massey, a Republican congressman and modern-day folk hero, pressed her on why Leslie Wexner's name was redacted from FBI documents that labeled him a co-conspirator in a child sex ring. And Bondi, a Republican attorney general, called Massey a failed politician and accused him of
Lionel Messi?
Of having Trump derangement syndrome.
You asked me a question.
What? Trump has derangement syndrome?
And accused him of having Trump derangement syndrome.
Ah, yeah, okay.
You asked me a question.
This is a video of oompaville talking about the Epstein files getting covered up exactly like the Watergate scandal. Yo, what up, Phoenix, PUBG? Or Phoenix, Pop, good morning. What's up, man? Yeah, that's the video of oompaville. I already Put the link in the chat. I do it again. Like, they're just doing it again. And yeah. As I said, I don't know if you're old enough for it. That was not even a joke.
Within 40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
We don't really need to care about this stuff here.
Red-handed. There was one redaction out
Where
of
he's
over
listed as a
4,700,
co-conspirator.
and we invited you
Show the
in.
video.
This guy has Trump derangement syndrome. He needs to get. You're a failed
Easy. Only Phoenix, man.
politician.
Gentlemen,
You need to
I
get
want
on
you to
things
watch
that
the
matter.
video.
Mr. Chairman, please restore his time.
By the way, Thomas Massey, Kentucky District Number 4, got more votes in his last run for Congress than Donald Trump did in Kentucky District Number 4. So, failed politician? I don't think so. How about
Yo, what's up? Where are you from? Are you from America? Or are you from UK? I don't know. Yeah, just do it, man. Just be careful. I think if you want to spam, go to the horizontal chat, because there's no bot there you can spam as much as you want. Just give it a go. In vertical chat, I think there's a bot. He might ban you. But you are mod, you can't get banned. You can do whatever you want. Phoenix? What, me?
MIT educated, Constitution upholding person who actually cares about his.
You might be not in the same chat. Like, I don't see if you are in vertical or in horizontal chat. Yeah, okay. Phoenix is in horizontal chat. I was talking to Sub, that's also a viewer. He's in the vertical chat right now. Like, he has the urge to spam a bit.
Country. How about that, you
Yeah, you can tell me where you're from too.
rotted ghoul? Trump derangement syndrome. You got TDS. You got TDS. It's all coming crashing down for these.
Malaikum salam, Marvo.
And I cannot wait. I cannot wait, dude.
Ja, ich stream gerade, ich mach gerade Reaction.
And it doesn't matter if you disagree or agree with Thomas Massey. You just gotta give credit where credit's due, regardless of who it's coming from. All of these people are holding these people accountable. And of course, the other side is gonna wanna see the other side crumble. But we have a bipartisan movement, Ro Khanna, Thomas Massey. They could not disagree further on things like the economy or immigration or the Second Amendment. And both are still objectively
Tell me.
good people who care about their country. And this stupid bitch is
Sheesh. Uzbekistan. That's a new one. I got Iran, India, Indonesia, UK, America, Germany, France, but not Uzbekistan. That's new. Welcome, man.
talking about
But it's not the first time that you're in the chat, right?
Trump derangement syndrome because someone from her own party, you're a failed politician. Talk about theatrics. And I'm talking like bad theatrics. All right, these are cringe theatrics going on here. Also during the hearing, Bondi produced this document, which is a printed document, a record of what Representative Jayapal
I don't think so, though. Maybe in wrestling.
had searched for in the DOJ reading room where Congress members reviewed the Epstein files. So they're like tracking what people have looked at. It makes sense, right? Because
Who do they have? They have only the one player there from Manchester City. How is his name? Kuzanov? Is he Uzbekistan? Yes, right? Who else famous that in Uzbekistan national team?
is where this is the Gestapo, this is a Stasi, this is an intelligence operation. This is not about accountability and transparency. This is an intelligence operation. They're now on their back foot. Of course, She wants to know what these people have been searching. Of course, it's not about transparency. They're not just letting them look at the unredacted files. They're tracking their individual movements. And I'm sure obfuscating as much as they possibly can. Why? The Department of Justice had been tracking what members of Congress were searching when they're supposed to be viewing unredacted documents. The agency that is supposed to be subject to congressional oversight was conducting surveillance on the congressional oversight. Now, I don't know much about the Founding Fathers, but that seems like they'd be rolling over in their graves. And they weren't exactly the best people. Like, let's be real, okay, guys? They had some really good ideas, but like, things have changed a lot. Jamie Raskin said he had reason to believe it was happening to everyone, not just Jay Powell. Even Republican Nancy Mace confirmed the tracking was real. She vaguely said that she was computer savvy.
When did she say it, though?
And could understand and talked about, I don't know. She could tell that they were all being tracked, which, of course, they're being tracked. Of course. And there's also just the redactions in general. The DOJ put 934 FBI agents on something called the Special Redaction Project. They worked 14,278 premium pay hours that taxpayers paid for. Total cost, $850,000.
To hide shit.
After all that, the DOJ managed to redact the names of co-conspirators, which are the people accused of participating in the trafficking, while simultaneously they failed to redact the names, home addresses, dates of birth, and nude photographs of victims. 934 agents, $850,000. They protected the perpetrators and exposed the children. Hey man, good job, government.
Good job.
Kana went into the reading room and found 6 hidden names within 2 hours. Thomas Massey went in, read the names he found, brought them to the House floor. And then at the hearing, Bondi said, we have pending investigations in our office. But just over a week earlier, in my last video, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche said to the press that there was nothing in the files that allowed them to prosecute anybody. He also said, just in case you forgot, it's not a crime to party with Mr. Epstein. Hey, bud.
Yo. She thought I'm not English? What language you thought I am? I talk English, but I am not English. I am Luxembourgish. Maybe it's because of when sometimes in my shorts or also in my videos I use a AI voice, so the English sounds cleaner, because as you can hear, my English sometimes is like a little bit lacks some vocabulary sometimes. And if I smoke too much, then I don't speak at all.
As far as I'm aware, it is a crime to party when there's trafficking going on. That's called patronizing or some bullshit like that. It's illegal, dude. After the hearing, a survivor named Marina Lacerda stood in front of the cameras and said, she really dehumanized us today. Then she said that they had one job, and that was to obviously redact their names and respect their privacy, but they carefully took the time to redact all the powerful rich people. For example, Leslie Wexner, who was already in the files. Everybody already knew that.
Yeah, they cover him, but he's still in there. That's how often he's in there.
I mean, that's like not even a conspiracy theory. This has been known for years, but they still redacted that. Why, dude? Why? What is, I mean, we know why. We know why. There's no why. We all know why. But like, we just need them to tell us, and we need it to be legal precedent. So just keep pushing. Bye.
Yeah, we are the good guys. We want everything to be correctly done, legally done, and they're the evil guys.
By the way, this satanic evil is not new for Pam Bondi. She served as Florida's Attorney General for 8 years, from 2011 to 2019, and during that time, Jeffrey Epstein was a registered sex offender living in Palm Beach, which is her jurisdiction. Flight logs were becoming public, victim lawsuits were being filed, new evidence was surfacing continuously. She never investigated him, not a single time. Investigative journalist Julie K. Brown, who broke the Epstein story for the Miami Herald, wrote, quote, questions should be asked about
she might be in there too.
Why she didn't take up the case or launch.
She started investigating him and then became part of it, maybe.
Probe. Oh
imagine
my
that's
God. Are you telling me the corruption spans the state level as well? Oh! She's been looking the other way for a long time. So yeah, this is the biggest scandal in American history. I'm not going to stop talking about it. Anytime something new happens, I'm going to continue to talk about it and figure out a way to link it to all the other evil shit that I've been talking about on my YouTube channel for the last year, because for some reason it's all linked. I don't know what's up with that. Biggest scandal, fewest consequences, and really it's not even close. All right, guys. Watergate is heralded as the largest political scandal in the history of the United States of
Not anymore.
America. It's not. It's not. This one only has one conviction. This dude is a intelligence asset. There's an interview that just, I think, happened yesterday between Alan Dershowitz, who is the lawyer who got Jeffrey Epstein his sweetheart deal, Bassem, and Piers Morgan. Bassem accuses Epstein of being an Israeli asset or a Mossad asset. The mainstream media has been saying that Epstein is a asset of the Russians, which is just insanely laughable.
What? Did they really do that?
Is there any evidence of that even at all a little bit? I've seen the evidence. It doesn't really stack up. The other evidence is a lot clearer. And as a response to that, Alan Dershowitz says that if he was an asset, that he would have been able to get him off.
If he had told me he worked for the Mossad, for the CIA, he was an intelligence source, it would have been a slam dunk for me to go to whoever I had to go to, even up to the President of the United States, and I would have gotten him a deal with no time at all.
He would have been able to totally get him off.
Got him a deal, no time at all.
Which is so
always those
crazy,
deal makers,
dude.
guys.
They're just walking around now in broad daylight, just being like, well, yeah, he's not an asset. If he was an asset, we would have been able to get him.
Well, this dude is so old. He did all this crime. He will probably die in 5 years. No fucks given. Like, they just stalling. They are all so old. They're just stalling. They did it now for 40 years or whatever.
Off. That's our proof that he isn't an asset, is because if he was, we wouldn't have been able to get him off. But he did. I don't know, man. It really is an area of gray that is like no other. It is an unbelievable spectacle of the modern age. It's beautiful that it's all coming crashing down. Yeah, one conviction though so far. $1.5 billion, by the way. That's how much money flowed through Jeffy's accounts across major banks in what congressional investigators have identified as suspicious transactions. So it isn't just the DOJ. It isn't just the Attorney General looking the other way. It's banks. It's local representatives. It's federal representatives. It is everybody. Howard Nutlick is extremely powerful. He's basically Trump's handler, it seems like.
Who's
and
that?
he's like lying about how much he knew.
Who the fuck is Howard Nutlick?
And how often
Dershowitz.
he hung out with Epstein and when he stopped his relationship. Everybody lies about this. Why are they lying about this? Why didn't they
Why do you think are they lying? It's simple. They want to hide it.
do something about it at some point? Banks are legally required to flag suspicious activity. The most recent angle that I've been digging into is the bank angle and the money angle, because he just created money from thin air, it seems like, and that is through the way that he described it in an interview with Steve Bannon, a fractional reserve banking, and that you have $1,000, you give it to a bank, and then that bank is legally required to keep
Well, no way he did his money like that. He got his money somehow.
a percentage of the reserve, and then they can lend out that money, and then you take $1,000 and it turns into 10 grand at the end of the day, because it's all been lent out. And that's why when you go to the bank and you say, I want to withdraw all my money, they're like, well, we don't have it all right now. Everybody knows that your money isn't actually in the Bankenheimers. It's just a weird credit system. Taking advantage of that is how
Big credit system. If it goes boom, guys, no one in America will have his money.
Jeffy made all his money, but he avoided all this fraud and everything. He had all these strange transactions and all these accounts. The entire point of SARS is to catch money laundering, fraud, and trafficking. And JP Morgan, with all his different transactions, did not flag a single thing. A Senate investigation found that a bank executive actually coached Epstein on how to avoid detection, which we know that the banks are evil. I mean, it's all the same thing, really. It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
The banks, Mr. I don't know, dude. I'm losing my mind now over this stuff. Anyway.
Let's not lose our mind over that stuff. We can't change it. But we can watch his video, like it. oompaville, guys. Very nice YouTuber.
Lama Lama.